Happy 5 o'clock on a Monday, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. We are starting a Seekers class that is live on Facebook and YouTube so that you can come and learn about witchcraft and all its various topics and subjects. Now, I have invited a very good friend of mine. Her name is Lady Lola Stardust. Let me get her in here with us. Yay! There you are. Hey, Lola. Lola and I have had more than one media adventure together. Lots of fun working with you, Lola. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. Lady Lola is the high priestess of Children of the Crossroads. It's Children of the Crossroads, right?
Yeah.
I get it confused with Coven of the Crossroads in Africa. Completely different group. Children of the Crossroads is Lola's group in Spokane, Washington. Lola has a amazing career with the Aquarian Tabernacle Church and the pagan community at large. She's been assistant dean of ministry, maybe even dean of ministry for a little while there.
No, just assistant, and then enrollment coordinator and events coordinator and all the things for Spring Mysteries, and we did a radio show together, all the stuff.
We did Candid Chats with Bella together, and you have been in Spring Mysteries and Sickle together with us on cast and staff. Long history. Lola, you're a dear friend of mine, and I'm so excited to share this Seeker's Path cards with everybody. So Lola created this Seeker's Path cards. They're like an oracle deck. Lola, tell us all about it.
Sure. So our Coven Children of the Crossroads has been doing a weekly conversation or a weekly discussion, and we hired or commissioned an artist to do the artwork for each card that we will discuss each topic with. And the cards are very different. You will see they're a little more modernized. There's some of them are not quite what you would think, but the point of them is to get a conversation started and get a discussion, because there's so many different ways to look at witchcraft. And we're taking that traditional topic and we're kind of bringing it into the modern times. So we've been doing this for a couple years now, and we just really enjoy having the interaction with people, and people seem to really enjoy it. Our format that we do, and the format might change here. Bella and I are in the works. We're discussing maybe future endeavors with this, but for now, what we do is we do show an image, and everyone just takes a look at it and takes it in, and it's going to provoke discussion. And then we get in really deep into that topic. And then we end it with everyone can just type out what, if they got that as a tarot card or an oracle card, what would that mean for them? So you also get to practice your interpretation of images, and kind of gives you, if you're not familiar with tarot, you don't have to be. It's a lot of fun. And at the end of the conversation, you get to download a beautiful image, and you get to collect that image. And every week you'll get a new image and a new topic. So this is my baby, and I'm giving the baby over, well, not over, because I'm still raising the baby, but I'm exposing the baby to the world of Bella, and Bella is going to help bring my baby out into the open. So I'm very excited.
Sharing it with aunties, so to speak. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I would expect the format's going to stay the same. You know. So we are going to do this every Monday at 5, and we're going to, Lola does it on Discord on her server on Wednesdays. At what time, Lola?
At 6:30. And if you are in any pagan Facebook groups, you will see the advertising for them. So
yes, it's
this
true.
kind of gives everyone a chance to, if you don't get to attend this one, you can attend ours on Wednesday. If you miss ours, you can attend this on Monday. We're going to try to work together on this.
We're working together. And so we're starting on the same one that they're working on Wednesday night. So we're going to work together. And I love it when pagans work together, Lola, don't you?
Oh, more pagans need to do this, I think.
Yes, yes, I agree. So let's get right on into it. I'm ready to see the first card we're going to work on. Aren't you?
Yeah,
so it's
going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting card. So we're going to talk about ritual tonight, right? We're going to talk about ritual and all of the things that ritual provokes in your mind. And if we could see the card, we'll start looking at it. And the point of it, Lola, is to look at the card, take in the imagery, see if any symbols speak to you. What about this card says ritual, right? Yeah. So yeah. I love it that this is interactive. We need you, Kayla and Namir, and I hope I'm saying this Kusaka correctly. We need you to participate in order to kind of do the thing. So tell us what you see in this card. Now, Lola, I'll tell you what I see. I see a mother doing the ritual of taking care of the baby. There's a ritual in swaddling the baby and holding it and, taking care of children. There's a morning and an evening and a ritual. And then there's the ritual of cooking. There's the ritual of working. There's the ritual of gardening. But what I don't really understand are the question marks and the exclamation points.
I think it's just, I think, and in our discussion group, we have the artist comes in to the discussion group and she kind of gets to explain what she was thinking. But if I remember correctly, it's just showing emoting like that the one person is questioning the books, like a learning ritual. I think the other person is excited about planting. And I think that it's kind of like comic book, like pow, bam.
So rituals bring emotion.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what they said. Sayo said that they said it's the things you do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Brenna said gardening. She just got back from putting tomatillos in her garden. Good job, Brenna. Kayla, ritual for the baker is mixing it by hand. That's true. Yeah. Ritual for a baker is mixing it by hand. That is very true. So when we think ritual, we often think dress up in robes and light candles and burn incense and humming a chicken bone, like stars in the air and all of those. That's a Terry Riley saying, humming a chicken bone. That's deep South Arkansas. That is tough. Brenna says that gardening calms her and lessens her anxiety, and it's a ritual that she likes to do when she's stressed. And I think that rituals are really good for helping us get into the headspace that we need to get into so that we can work on the subconscious mind. We spend a lot of time right here, but our subconscious mind is really what drives us, right? It's what you're thinking about, what you're thinking really defines your world. And so ritual really works on our subconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go take the new puppy and put her outside. She was barking.
I figured that was a dog issue. I just kept going. You know how I am.
Thank you. We're live. This is going to happen.
So rituals bring forth a thing that you're kind of adding into your subconscious. Like you're consciously aware, but it layers into your subconscious. And that's why it's a ritual, because it's repeated, right?
Yeah, it's about the thing I like about this. And when I first saw this card, I thought, and the artist, turned it into me and I was like, I don't know. And then I started thinking about all the different things we do ritualistically. And then I went to another level and thought about how you can make a magical ritual out of all your mundane things that you do, which makes the magic so powerful and makes ritual easy to access. Because if you think about it, not everyone's in a coven, and maybe not everyone has space to practice a actual ritual. So you might have people that are bakers and that's their ritual, the ingredients they add and how they do it and the intent and the energy they put in there. That could be their ritual. And so that's what made me really excited about this image.
So it says, ritual is about how to put things together, your daily rituals, understanding the steps of effective spells and ceremonies, and how to work with energy. And what you just said was really pertinent to that, because you can clean house, or you can magically clean your house, which also involves cleaning your house, right?
Yeah.
And the difference is the intent and maybe the ingredients that you use in cleaning, because I like to get those floor washes and put it in my mop bucket, right? And then when I'm mopping the floor, it's magic. So it's easier for me to get myself excited about mopping the floor because I'm working magic, right?
Yeah.
But the ritual of, you got to get the mop bucket and you got to get the mop and you got to put all of that is rote. Your body just goes into, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. And when we do rituals with magic, that happens the same way.
Yep.
First we bless the salt, then we bless the water, then we put them together, then we draw stars, and then we cast circle, and then we draw stars, then we invoke. And the getting into the habit of this is what we do next allows your mind to go, okay, we're stepping into ritual. There's something that we're doing here that's powerful, and it gets us ready to receive. Right?
Why do you think we need that structure? I mean, I know why, but I think a good question is, why do we need that structure of how to set up when we work our magic? Why is that important? Can anyone maybe answer that? Why is it so important for us to have a certain way we do our structures in our magical circles?
Well, when I was a mother with young children, the pediatricians would say, I can't get my kids to go to sleep at night. And they would say, prepare a nighttime ritual. And so you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you brush your hair, you put your pajamas on, you get in the bed, mom reads you a story, you fall asleep. You're setting an intention, right? Like you're moving towards something. And when you do it over and over, then it sets you up, right? It sets you up to, okay, I've done all these things. My mind, now it's time to go to sleep. So you just go to sleep instead of, you stay up all night.
It's a trigger too. It's like your mind knows how to react to when we bless the circle, that we are getting, making sure the good spirits are in and the bad spirits are out. When we pull that the Athames out or whatever, this is time to guard the circle with your watchtowers or however you do it. And you do it a certain way, and there is that order to the magic. And even though magic can be fun and adventurous and all over the place sometimes, I feel we do it to make sure that we are safeguarding our magic and that we are always practicing responsibly. And I feel like if you forget a step, I mean, everything's not gonna crumble down, but you'll start to notice the difference if you miss a step here and there, I think, in your rituals. Same with your mundane rituals.
Absolutely. When we were at the hospital last week, and the nurse was taking blood, and she couldn't get the blood out. And I knew why she couldn't get the blood out, but I didn't want to say anything. I'm medically trained, right? I watched her skip a step. And I said, do you think this is why? And she went, probably, because now she knows that I know why, right? But those steps are really important into making sure you have success, right?
Yep.
And so we have these steps in because that gives us success.
Yep.
And Brenna's right. Brenna says, if you miss brushing your teeth every day, you will notice, and you will. And last night I was going to sleep. Now, I've got a little bit of a cold, so I spent a good part of the evening in the bed. And about 11 o'clock, I was like, I don't think I brushed my teeth. And that was my signal to get up, wash my face, take my medicine, right?
Yep. Yep.
And all those other things, my nighttime ritual, so that I would be prepared and ready. And no, I don't think that the gods get upset with you if you miss a step, but there are certainly personal consequences to forgetting to brush your teeth before bed. You know, and there are personal consequences. I don't think we realize the importance of changing our brain waves.
Yes. I agree. Yeah.
We are in this alpha state, right? Like, isn't it alpha is the I'm not an expert on brainwaves. I'm an expert on witchcraft. But so I might say, but I think, the waking state, and then we want to get to a more of a theta state when we're in trance, so that we can download we can do magic. It's a different space of being. But if you are in circle and you're focused on what your kids are doing, where your husband is, what bills you have to pay, that thing on your desk that you didn't do, that there's a deadline on, and all of these other things, you're not focused on the here and now and ready to do magic.
Yep. I know for me, my daily ritual includes daily devotionals. And if I miss my daily devotional, it sets my whole day off. It's amazing how that I tell people devotional to me, daily devotional is my daily medicine. It's my spiritual medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have been out of the habit of doing my daily devotional, and I was telling Dusty, I really miss it. And so, you know what I do, Lola? I go, oh, well, then let's just make this my job now. If I forget to do it, then we make it my job and I have to do it. So we've got it. But I'm like, I'm the same way. If I don't get up and set my intention for the day and do my daily devotional, my day does not go the same. And
Nope.
we work really hard to sharpen these skills, and then we want to act like we always acted before, and that doesn't help us get to where we want to go. You actually do need to change your daily routine and incorporate the things that you're learning so that you can accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in life, right? We get up, hey, James Lilly, we get up and we get started in our day, and we enroll Goddess, and we enroll the Lord and Lady, we enroll our patron deities, or we don't.
Yeah.
And your day does go different depending on what you choose to do. Thank you for bringing that up. Morning devotional is one of those kinds of things that it doesn't take very long. You can make it really short, but it's a huge difference.
It also helps me time out my day, because I know that. So, because we do daily devotionals, which we learned from the church. We do it over on Discord, and we do it every day. And I've noticed that I wake up at a certain time, I eat breakfast, so I'm ready by devotional, and then I do devotional, and then that gives this is funny, that gives my food time to digest, so then I can take my medication that I need to take after devotional. Now, if I miss devotional, I miss breakfast, I miss taking my medication. So it's not just a spiritual thing, but it helps with the mundane and the things that we need to feed our physical body.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So I just wanted to take a moment to say that I'm really grateful to Isadora Laveau for running StreamYard for us, and for starting working on this an hour and a half before we had to actually be here. I appreciate her diligence in helping us and taking care of us in this. Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you, Izzy.
Okay, so Brenna says, all the faces in this image are happy and content, which is totally how I want to feel and how I do feel when I do my daily rituals.
Yep.
Yeah. Daily devotional started when the school moved into Second Life, and we had this big temple that was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
It had basically a pool in the center and the goddess on the other side, and you can sit around the pool and enjoy the fountain and such a magical experience. And I wanted a reason to get everybody to go in there every day, so we started morning devotional.
Yeah.
And it it's necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah.
Now that ritual, we do it what, 3 times a day now in the
Yeah,
church.
you do a 6 a.m. This is all Pacific Standard Time, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and 8:15 p.m.
And then
Yeah.
you do one at 9:30.
9:30 a.m. Yeah.
9:30.
So
And then I know Weavers of the Web in Michigan do one every evening, I think.
I think they do. Yeah, I've seen their ads on Instagram, and it makes me really happy that all the affiliates are taking this beautiful idea and kind of like we're taking your baby and we're making it grow. So yeah,
Well, and that's what it's all about, right? Like
yeah,
we share and then it grows and we share more, and that enriches, it weaves the web,
it
to,
does.
coin a phrase. It weaves an enriched um, culture for
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah, a really enriched culture for
learning
everybody.
learning and teaching is for everybody, and I think when we work together just like they are in these cards, they're working, they're happy, we work together, there's harmony, and that's a beautiful ritual too. I wanted to touch upon something real quick. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. What My god, you know what, I went blank.
Okay,
Help
well,
me
I
out
tell
here.
you what, I'll talk some more and then it'll come
Yeah,
back.
I
Okay.
will.
So I like to talk about the parts of ritual. There are certain parts of ritual. People are like, I don't know how to write a ritual, and then they'll go and pick up a book and read the ritual out of the book instead of writing their own. And I find that there's less personal investment in that, and those rituals don't really work as well. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I think, but I think it's good for people to have it as a
It's got
structure or as a framework to kind of get the idea. But I've learned in my time when I have used other people's rituals and that you see, and they can be wonderful, but when you put your own personal touch and stuff, it's different.
it is. It's very different. And one of the things that Brenna said is all of the faces in here seem happy, and she wants to have a happy day, right? And so I think that that is a really important thing to look at. Self reflection is they say self reflection is a third degree skill. It's
Yeah.
not easy to self reflect. It is, I'm always right. I'm the center of my universe. From my purview, I have made all of the right choices, but maybe from your perspective, it's different. And so being able to self reflect is important, and seeing that maybe these childcare rituals aren't bringing me success and joy.
Mm.
These work rituals aren't bringing me success and joy. This ritual of, like I can't cook on Monday nights. I cannot. If we're going to eat on Monday, somebody else has to feed us because I have a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Right? I
Yep.
don't have any room in my day to eat, much less cook meals. And so, if I had to cook meals on Monday, that ritual would be very unsuccessful, and it would not
Yep.
bring me joy. And instead of just doubling down or beating yourself up that you're not doing it right, finding fault within yourself, maybe explore the process and the ritual and see if maybe that's not making you happy. That's what happened to me, and that's what led me to paganism, is the ritual of getting up on Sunday morning and putting on hose and heels and makeup and go into a place where there were too many children in the room to listen to what the heck was going on anyway, because I was raised Mormon. I know,
Yeah.
I got better. I hear the groans.
That was just me. That was me groaning. That
Yeah.
That's what you heard.
But yeah, well, no, I think it was me too, because it's rough. But
Yeah.
it didn't make me happy. It made me feel guilty. I could not live the principles of the gospel as a teenager. And my parents couldn't live the principles of the gospel as adults. They're not going to see this. If they heard me say that, they'd be very upset. They're probably better at it now that they're 75 rather than 35.
Yeah.
But if you're unhappy in your life, maybe that it's that you're choosing to stick to customs and rituals that don't actually bring you joy.
Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes we say, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do, and it's actually more like you get to do. You don't have to do anything. You get to do it. And if you really don't want to, then maybe that's something that you should explore in your life.
Well, I think also it helps when you understand, like, breaking down a ritual, like, okay, so a Wiccan ritual, which was what we're mostly experiencing here. There might be other beliefs and other types of paganism that do rituals different. But I feel that traditionally we set it up also for a reason, like we said, to put the protections and all that. But you're actually building something. You know what I mean? Like when you are doing your ritual, you're building the temple. You're erecting the temple. You're cleaning the space. So you're gonna, like, it's like a mind temple. So if you're gonna go in an actual church, an actual building, and worship, you want to make sure that building is clean. So that's why we clean the space. You also are going to be working with magic. So I call the watchtowers and the elementals, they're like your bodyguards, right? They're going to make sure that people that aren't really into what we're doing aren't going to come in. So you're going to have that. And so you're erecting a temple. You're building a place that you can worship freely and practice your magic with others or by yourself and feel safe. And so I think that's what got me understanding ritual, was when someone told me you are actually building a temple and you're inviting the gods into this space. You want to make sure it's good for them. And then you're going to do your magic and you're going to do the fun stuff and all that stuff in there. And then when we're done, you have to break down the temple. Would you agree with that kind of analogy?
100%. 100%. I think that's a really beautiful way to say it. And another thing that I, taking this just a little bit deeper, is that the different things that you're doing in your in setting up a ritual is also the things that it's also showing you the separate pieces of yourself. Okay. So like a telephone is a phone. Have you ever taken apart a telephone? Like a telephone is a telephone. But if you take apart all of these pieces, it's got these unique pieces. Or, you can deconstruct anything. And as you're putting a ritual together, you're actually exercising a part of yourself where it's showing you that, when you bless the water and the salt, you're mostly water and salt, right? Like you're earth and water. So as you bless and consecrate the water and you cast out all the negativity and you cast out all the negativity of the salt, you're casting out all the negativity from yourself.
Ooh, I never thought of it like that.
And then you cast your circle. That's like your shield, right? Like the outside of your aura. Okay. And then you call in your body, your instincts, your emotions, your thoughts, right? Earth, air, fire, and water. You're layering all of those things. And it's kind of like deconstructing yourself so that you can figure out where everything is and put it back together. It's like I tell people a magical mindset. We tell you to go deasil in your circle all the time. But then you're going to think negative thoughts in your head and think you can get away with that. You're going Widdershins in your circle that is you. right?
Ah, yes.
So when you're thinking negative thoughts, whether you say them out loud or not, all you have to do is think them. And gosh, you guys, I hate to quote the Bible, but I was a Mormon and I read it. So
Yeah.
I know things out of it. And one of the things that it says is that if you think it, you might as well have done it. Right. And I
Yep.
always thought, well, man, I've done a lot of things, I mean, I've thought a lot of bad things. And so I kind of rejected that concept then because, I thought about doing some bad things, but I wouldn't do it. I ain't gonna do it, girl. I'm just talking about it. I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But magically, if you think it, thoughts are things. I have it right here on my wall. When I think it, it happens. And then underneath it says thoughts are things because we think we can get away with those negative thoughts and we really can't.
Mm-mm.
And if you think about the fact that when you are casting a circle and you're building your temple, you're also acknowledging you yourself as a holy temple. And these are all the parts of you, and you're inviting deity in.
Yeah. I love that. That's wonderful. I think that's again, I still learn something new. Now I'm going to be thinking of it as my temple,
Right.
and respect that temple. Yeah.
And that's
Brenda,
why we teach, right? That's why we
Yeah.
teach, so we can learn new stuff. Because, right.
I'm
So-
reading Brenna's comment. I see Wiccan ritual circles as a macrocosm of yourself and a microcosm of or would it be a microcosm? Are we?
Well, a macrocosm of yourself and a microcosm of the world.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big picture you, small picture of the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. Is getting
Another good example is super getting rid of the added sugar
in our bodies. Probably. But we have to set up space the same way. Like I said, you need to do it with reverence. And when you're setting up your ritual space, you got to think of this. Like now I'm going to think of it as what I put in my body, what I do with my body, and treat my body like a temple and treat my circle and my ritual like a temple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I think one of the things that I have taught over and over and over is you should use the same circle cast and use the same, like find one you like. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you go boom, done, but do it the same way every time and then change the middle of the ritual. Because if you redo your circle cast and your quarter calls and every time, it's really hard to memorize them, right?
Well, yeah.
And if you don't have them memorized, you have to either make them up as you go, which takes brain power, or you have to read them out of the book, which takes brain power. And if you just have them memorized, then you can do all of the energy that goes with it, because it's not just drawing a star in the air and saying words, right? It's calling the energy in, bringing it forth, grounding yourself, speaking to the ethers across the veil. There's a lot more to it, right? And so if you do the same thing every time, your mind goes, oh, time for magic, right? Let's go into that space where we're doing magic. Whereas if you change it every time, your mind's like, I don't know, well, we're doing something different here. Okay, so
like it's that trigger. It triggers your mind that it's time to do magic, because you're it's like Pavlov's dogs, they hear the bell and they drool. You hear the certain words and you're ready. You get a feeling, you're ready. It's like the charge of the goddess when we do our daily devotionals. I learned to memorize the charge of the goddess from doing daily devotionals. And I will tell you now, sometimes, we're human. We're going to sometimes screw it up a little, but the majority of the time when I do it by memory, I have so much more of a deeper connection to what I'm doing, because I'm not reading it off a screen or I'm not reading it off a piece of paper. So the reading, it takes away from your magic and your energy. And that's why if you do ritual is doing something over and over and over. It's easier to remember it. And if you remember it, you can focus on your magic. And it just makes a huge difference.
It's true. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons that I did morning devotionals the way I did is because I wanted you guys to memorize the charge. I was made to memorize the charge, and a lot of people don't know it. It's very important. And Lola, does this happen to you? Because when I'm saying the charge, I put both my feet on the floor. I automatically got into position.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I set up straight. I straighten my back, but I don't cross anything. You don't want to have anything crossed when you're invoking, right? And then I start saying the words, and I feel my face change as she comes over me. I feel my body just a little bit different. My position will change. There was one time the Janet Farah and Gavin Bone invoked me in ritual, and I had both my feet on the floor. I was sitting like this, and they invoked me, and my feet came up off the floor, and I kind of changed my position, and I noted it, and then I was gone, and then we did the ritual, and they set me back in the chair. And the consciousness that I was aware of was that my body went from that interesting position to the position that I'm used to invoking in.
Yeah.
And that was her, right?
Yep.
So when you memorize your incantations, you get to experience that whole other layer, right? That's very important. Thank you for bringing that up, Lola. A lot of people, when I was coming up in witchcraft, you guys, I had a British teacher, a Duzid. Yeah, there was, I wanted to say some other word, but British is the right term. And he was like, you have to memorize all of this stuff. And I said, I have to memorize this? Isn't this some hippie religion? Are you serious? And he was like, this is not a hippie religion. This is a very scholarly religion.
Yeah.
So I memorized all my stuff.
Well, when I was first going to the school and getting introduced to memorizing the charge of the goddess, I was in another coven that I hived off of, and we would do the charge of the goddess in our rituals. And I was able to memorize it from the school. So when I went into our circle in my old coven and I would invoke and I would do it from memory, my teachers said they saw, because everyone else had it written down, because our teachers were a little loosey-goosey with that. They're like, if you need to look at the script, and some people just didn't want to go off script. And I understand that. But then they'd get more used to it and they would eventually. But I was doing it from memory, and they saw physically the difference in me when I did it. They saw, they said, wow, yeah, that's powerful to memorize it. And so then they started saying, yeah, maybe we should have the others start memorizing it, because we just saw the difference. And these are teachers that have been doing it for like 40 years. And they never thought about memorizing it because they didn't want to be like, they didn't want it to be unfun, not fun for someone. But then when they saw the power, they went, oh, yeah, let's memorize it.
They're watering it down to make it palatable for everybody. You lose very important things. And you can strike a balance between this is fun for everybody, right? And this is where I demand excellence. This is where I expect you to perform. Because I don't know about you, Lola, but I don't want to be halfway. I don't want to be just so. I want to be great at what I do. If I take it seriously, I want to be really good at it, and I apply myself. And I don't want teachers who are like, that's good enough.
Yeah,
I want to be proficient. And I think that sometimes students shy away from teachers who demand excellence because they may feel like, that's too hard. That's
mixing
stressful.
Magic with homework, okay, like memorization, they have a hard time, because I think they have a misconception about, there's a lot of work that you put in. There is a lot of memorization. There is a lot of practice. There is a lot of writing things out. There is a lot of that. Magic, yes, it is fun, but it's also very serious. It's mirth and reverence. It's mirth and reverence.
Mirth and reverence. Sometimes heavy on the mirth, sometimes heavy on the reverence, but both of it. Kusaka wants to know, what is the charge of the goddess? The charge of the goddess is a prayer that was written by Doreen Valiente, and it's probably the only thing that Wiccans all agree on, and then they will argue over things like pronouns and god names and little things, but
all the things.
But pretty much. And you've probably seen it somewhere, Kusaka. It starts out, whenever you have need of anything once in a month, and better it be when the moon is full, then shall you assemble in some secret place and adore the spirit of me, whom queen of all witches. And it's 2 paragraphs, and it's what you're supposed to have memorized in old traditional Wicca. You would draw down the goddess, and then you would say the charge. And if the goddess had something to say, you would suspend the charge and say whatever the goddess wanted you to say. But the charge was there in case the goddess didn't have anything to say. You still had something to deliver. Yeah. So you don't really recite the charge, you deliver the charge. It's an invoking prayer. And today, Doreen put it out there, and witches are going to do what witches do. And so we use it a little bit differently now than it was originally intended. I use it for a healing spell. I can put somebody down on the table and say the charge of the goddess over them and work on them while I'm doing it. And they wake up, they get off the table fixed. We say it at the beginning of devotional because we're invoking the goddess. But that is what the charge of the goddess is.
I actually did a paper at the Wiccan Seminary on the history of the charge of the goddess, and I still have all that information because it was so interesting, like the origins of it and why it was used. And so it's one of my favorite topics to talk about, but I know it's not the topic, but it's important because it is a part of ritual. It's a part of what we do in ritual. And it does, some people I've talked to during ritual, they'll say, I have a really hard time invoking. And I'm like, recite the charge of the goddess. And I'm going to tell you, she'll come knocking on, you'll feel it. You just feel it. And one of my students in my covens, she started memorizing it and she started doing it. And she's like, oh my God, I can feel her on the back of my neck. I can feel her coming in. And it's like, yep, she likes it.
She does.
Yeah.
She likes it and she shows up to it. And it is, I find that that's part of ritual, is that if you use the classic incantations, we use the classic incantations in the ATC, and I feel like they're very important because when you say the classic incantation, the unseen beings on the other side go, oh, hey, they're calling us again. Let's go to ritual, and when you just say whatever, then maybe they come, maybe they don't. Right. But if you say what,
I was gonna say, or you invite, if you just say whatever, you might invite something you don't want in the circle.
That's the one. So I feel that regardless of my personal power, an incantation that is used over and over and over by witches all over the world of varying ranks and degree and age and study and all of this is a far more powerful incantation than if I make something up on the spot.
It is.
And so that is ritual though.
Yep.
And I feel that sometimes we just don't want to put, did you ever watch, what is it, Supernatural?
I did not. I was one of the few people that never saw it. I know.
Our show is over. Lola and I can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry.
You sound like Nim when I told her I'm not a fan of the Lord of the Rings movies. Nim almost broke up with me as a friend.
Oh, well, you and I can agree on that. I don't know why anybody wants to make an entire series where both the bad guys' names are Sorry Mom. I mean, what? Sorry Mom and Sorry Mom. Sorry Mom wrote a bad show. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so
Supernatural.
In Supernatural, Lola, the first season, Sam and Dean do not have their incantations memorized.
Okay.
So when the ghosts come and they've got to banish the ghosts, they have to get their book out and read from the book. And, the ghosts will knock the book out of their hand or out the window. The book will catch on fire. It's something about the book. And I'm going, oh my God, I cannot believe you haven't memorized your incantations. What is wrong with you? And then by second or third season, they had memorized their incantations. They didn't need the book anymore. And I was like, finally.
Finally.
Yes. So
the show The Craft did that. Did you ever watch The Craft in the 90s? The girls had to always read out of the book. And I remember thinking, oh, that's easy. We could just read out of our book and do it. But they invited demons and stuff. So they should have memorized it. We get way off track. But I am looking at the time, and I want to make sure that we get everyone, if they want to do what we do, a bit of divination at the end with each card. Do you want to start that part?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So what we do is, after we talk about the discussion, we have everyone look at the card that's on the screen. And you just imagine if you went to a tarot reader and you said, hey, I need a 1-card reading. And she pulls or he pulls this ritual card and puts it down. All your answers are correct, you guys. You do not have to be a tarot master. This is your interpretation. What would it say to you today if you got this ritual card? So I'll go first to give you an example. So for me today, if I got this ritual card, it would tell me to find the magic, start finding the magic again in my mundane, everyday activities. And because I feel that I've been so busy focusing on, running a coven and teaching classes and doing this and that, that sometimes I forget that the magic is all around me. And so in my daily rituals, I'm going to maybe be more conscientious of the magic in my daily rituals. How about you, Bella? If you got this card, what would you think?
Well, if I got that card, I would think that I needed to slow down and appreciate all the things that I get to do. Stop working so hard and start working with more joy and appreciation. Be more present in the now, right? Be more focused on what I'm actually doing and not just mindlessly perform all of these duties without looking at the magic behind them. Pay attention. Be here now. Yeah, let's see. And Kasaka, we would always save the book. Yes, ma'am. We would always save the book. So Saya, what are your daily rituals? Do you do things that you enjoy? Do you do things in such a way that allows you to feel happy about getting things done? That is what what they would get out of this ritual.
Yeah.
And then Persephone told me to find the magic, find the joy. Without magic in my day, my life becomes
monotonous. Monotonous. Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Well, it's like I said about cleaning the house. If I put a little bit of floor wash in my mop bucket, I can do it with joy. If I don't, I get back into that. My mom's making me mop the floor, man. Right? And it's, you guys, it's all about what brings you joy. It's all about focusing on what makes you happy and noticing the miserable things that you just endure. We have been taught to just endure, especially women, and the craft is full of a lot of women. We just endure the misery and think that that's what it's supposed to be.
I know.
But I have a story about that.
Okay.
Dusty's initiating high priest, Talon Songdog, rest his soul, had a dream one time. And he had said to his family earlier that day, into everything there's a little shit in everything. There's a little bit of bad in everything that I do, and then everything, gosh almighty. Okay. And so in his dream, he walked up and Caridwen was cooking in his kitchen. And he was like, "What are you doing, Mother?" And he looks over her shoulder and she had a chopping block and a knife. And she said, come on, I need you to tell me how much of this to put in. And she had a big, long poop. and she said, how much of this do you think I should put in the stew? And he was like, none of it. And she said, well, you said that there was a little bit of it in everything. So.
Oh my gosh.
And so he stopped saying that,
Yeah,
just a shit sandwich and every day's another bite. God,
yes.
Because the gods have prepared a paradise for us.
Yeah.
But they can't make us enjoy it. It's our free will, right?
Yep.
And if you pay attention to what brings you happiness, the rituals in your life that bring you joy, and the rituals that don't bring you joy, and you adjust yourself instead of endure it. Life is not an endurance test.
No, it's not.
You're supposed to enjoy it.
We have some other people saying, Kayla says, find the joy and magic in the small things is what the card is saying to her.
Mm-hmm.
Kusaka says, I feel it's very important to smell the flowers and take your time. And Jessica Logan says, be mindful of my everyday chores. Magic is in everything. And Alana, I love that. Whistle while you work. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Beautiful. Well, Lola, I have had so much fun with you today. This has been wonderful. This has just been wonderful. I always love working with you. I love your heart and your spirit, but you're also really a brilliant priestess. And I'm grateful that I get to have you in my life and that I can share your brilliance with all of the ATC people and just pagans in general across the world. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's discussion. And if you feel that this has brought value to your life, we ask you to please make a donation to paypal.me/ATC Wicca, which our beautiful Isadora has added to the screen for you to be able to make it easy on yourself. Also, there are pledge opportunities to the ATC, which come with membership has its privileges, right? So atcwicca.org/pledge, you can get free festival tickets. There are a lot of things available if you have a monthly pledge. And that helps us when we are applying for grants and loans in order to get the things that we're trying to get for everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today. Lola, do you have any final words? Tell us how we can get more Lola in our lives, where we can find you, all of that kind of stuff.
I'm everywhere. No, I've got a YouTube show, which is in wine, that's been just going.
It's now on Fringe TV.
And is on Fringe TV, so you can find it 2 places. And we also have a Spotify podcast too. So, and we're over on Discord a lot. We do a lot of classes over there. We do some fun movie nights. We do our daily devotionals. So, like I said, if you're part of any of the pagan groups on Facebook, you will see our Discord links on there. And here in the community, we've got our community Beltane coming up in Spokane that we're a part of. You'll just see me everywhere, and you'll see me popping in here and there and everywhere. So I'm just really excited that we get to do this.
So Children of the Crossroads, Spokane, Washington. If you're in Spokane, on that's the eastern side of the state. The Aquarian Tabernacle Church has covens all over the United States and Italy,
Africa,
Australia, Africa, like quite a few places. So you can always find a local teacher. And there's also wiccanseminary.edu. If you're very excited about Wicca and you want to take this to the next level, I very much encourage you to go to wiccanseminary.edu. The .edu extension means it's a real school, state recognized, degrees from associates to doctorate. It's not a Wiccan first degree, second degree, third degree. You get that as in the covens. It's a scholastic degree that allows you to do things like hospital chaplaincy and prison ministry and all that kind of stuff. They really work together. It's you can do one or the other, but the best is of both worlds combined.
Yep.
Thank you guys. If we will do this next week at 5:00. This will also be available for you to rewatch. If you want to share it with your friends, feel free to share it wherever you want to. And thank you so much. We're so grateful for your time and attention. Go out there and do good things, you guys. It's a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye bye.